we're page 633, which is Chelek Daled, Perek Zayin, Oz Gimel, section 4, chapter 7, number 3. It's great to be back.
What's that again?
473.
473. Oh yeah, in there. In the red edition. Page 215. Page 215 or 632. Okay, whatever.
What?
We're going to be talking about Shabbos.
Page with the picture.
Yeah, there's the picture of two candlesticks.
Let's do this.
Okay, so we're in the middle of discussing Shabbos, and what we mentioned the last time we were together is that God put us in a physical world, and the idea of that is that we have a spiritual component and a physical component, and He put us in a physical world to test us so that we sanctify the physical world, that we don't just be engaged in physical pleasures all the time, that we rather sanctify the physical and make it spiritual. But the Ramchal wrote last time we studied together, that there had to be some infusion of spirituality into the physical world so that the physicality would not overtake us. And that is called Shabbos. There's one day of the week where there's a certain level of spirituality infused into our lives, and therefore we don't become so low, let's say, by become overtaken by the physicality. And that's what Shabbos is. And he says not only that, but the whole week goes towards Shabbos, that our whole existence is headed to that level of spirituality, which is Shabbos, and then he ties it into creation in general. So now he's going to just continue talking about Shabbos, and hopefully we'll be able to finish this section where he goes into the holidays and actually talks about Rosh Chodesh, which is today, so we can learn about Rosh Chodesh. Okay, V'amnam. Because of this, we mentioned the high spiritual level that is attained on Shabbos. We have to act accordingly to that high spirituality which exists on that day. V'ulam, hine ha'esek ba'olam, kfar bi'arnu l'mala, shehu mimash mekasher ha'adam b'chamrios, umash pilanyana. We already explained that man in this world is connected to physicality, and therefore he becomes Rabbi Naaman translates as debased because of that. A human, we're in a physical world, so we become low because of that. We become low than the high level that we are really fitting to attain. And therefore, on Shabbos, we have to detach ourselves from the involvement in the physical world that we usually do during the week. Being in a physical world that we have to be, because our job is to sanctify it, and we are involved in the physical world, so we have one day of the week which infuses our lives with spirituality. So therefore we have to detach ourselves from our physical activities, which is associated with the physical world, which debases our nature that we would be befitting. Why do we have to detach ourselves from our physical activities? Because this day raises us up more than we are during the week. And it strengthens us for that level which we are fitting to get. Now, we're saying we have to detach ourselves from the physical world on Shabbos. Now, to completely detach ourselves from the physical world, that would be impossible. We still live in this world. He's saying that since Shabbos is a spiritual day, therefore we disconnect ourselves from the physical world. So he says to totally disconnect yourself from the physical world, it will be impossible, right? You're not going to sleep, you're not going to eat on Shabbos. That's not realistic for a human being to do. I actually heard about a holy man. You ever heard this? Tzvi Meyer, I heard, doesn't sleep on Shabbos because he doesn't want to miss a second of the holiness of Shabbos. I don't know if that's true. I heard that once. But we're us normal folks living here in New Jersey, for the Torah to tell us that we have to totally disconnect ourselves from the physical world by not sleeping and not eating, that wouldn't be something that we could do. So rather, the Torah has certain labors that are 39 labors that we disconnect ourselves, we don't do, we refrain from them, and that is the level that the Torah saw fitting to disconnect us from the physical world. So Shabbos, which is the day of spirituality, we disconnect from the physical world with just these 39 labors. And that's why work is forbidden on Shabbos. Okay, Daled. And besides for the fact that we don't do this work on Shabbos. Not, so that's the negative, things that we refrain from doing. We refrain from doing the work on Shabbos because it's a holy day, but not only that, we have to do a positive action to honor the holiness of the day of Shabbos. And that's the mitzvah to enjoy Shabbos. And we have to honor it when Shabbos goes in and goes out with Kiddush and Havdalah. When we make Kiddush on Friday night, we're sanctifying Shabbos, we're honoring Shabbos. And when it leaves, we make Havdalah to also honor Shabbos. And we have Shabbos party, and we have enjoyable meals to have Oneg Shabbos. So those are the positive actions that we do to honor the holiness, the special holiness which comes out on Shabbos. They're all based on this principle. It's in order that we watch ourselves for the proper level, for the holiness which comes out on Shabbos, and to love this special, this high level. To honor it, the day of Shabbos is a great closeness and ability to cleave to Hashem that you have on Shabbos that you don't have during the rest of the week. And we have to honor this special present that God gave to us. So what the Ramchal said so far was just in general, that we do these things to honor the holiness of Shabbos, but there are many details that why certain labors are prohibited and certain other things. Why there are many details why those labors, what they associate to the different topics of Shabbos, but he's not getting into that now. He's just talking about specific things. So just to summarize about Shabbos so far, and we'll go on to the holidays, that we were put in a physical world because our job is to sanctify the physical world. However, if we wouldn't have a certain infusion of holiness, would be overcome by the physicality. So there's one day during the week called Shabbos where God infuses that day with spirituality, and therefore we have to disconnect ourselves from some level with the physical world, and those are the 39 malachas and the prohibitions that we have on Shabbos. But not only that, since there's this special gift that Hashem gave us, that we have an opportunity to get close to Him and to grow in spirituality and to fulfill our spiritual mission, we also do positive actions by honoring it and sanctifying it through Kiddush, Havdalah, and Oneg Shabbos. And let's go on to the holidays. Okay. V'amnam, Gazar HaChachma El Yonah, LaHosef Yisrael Kiddush El Kiddush. Hashem made it that He wanted to add sanctification upon sanctification. V'nasna lahem Yemei Kodesh Milvan Shabbos. He gave us holy days besides Shabbos. Shebehem Yikablu Yisrael Madregos Memadregos HaKiddush. And on those special days, the Jewish people got certain levels, various levels of holiness, sanctification. Amnam Kulam Lamata Madregos Shabbos. However, all of the holidays, the level of their holiness is lower than Shabbos. Hashpa'aso V'Kiddush. His the hashpa, the emanate. Rabbi Naaman. I just hesitated because Rabbi Naaman has a shita in this book where he translates hashpa as hashpa. He holds there's no English, the different edition, but he holds there's no English word that really encapsulates the word hashpa. But influence would probably be the closest. But and there's a special influencer, emanations that Hashem gives on these days. And therefore, on those days, we also, there's a certain infusion of holiness. We have to detach ourselves from worldly tasks. And that's why there's prohibitions of working also on the holidays. Yom Kippur is the highest of the holidays. Now, Rabbi Naaman points out on the bottom that you can tell how the level or which holiday has the bigger infusion of holiness according to the punishment that's incurred for doing work on that day. For instance, on Shabbos, one who does work gets stoned, which is the death penalty, which is very serious. Yom Kippur, one who works gets kares, which is his soul gets cut off from Hashem, which is very serious, but it's not as serious as the death penalty, so its holiness is lower. And then you have the holidays, the regular Yom Tovim, where it's only malchus, which is lashes, for working on those days. And he actually might, I'm not sure, I don't remember if he says this part himself, but he's going to discuss it. Okay, so you have, after Shabbos, you have Yom Kippur, V'achreim Yom Tovim, and then you have the holidays. V'achreim Chol Shamoed, and after that, on a lower level, you have the intermediate days of the holidays, known as Chol HaMoed. Right, there you're allowed to do much more work, but there's still certain works you can't do. V'achreim Rosh Chodesh, and that's today. a lower level of holiness after Chol HaMoed is Rosh Chodesh. So today, Rosh Chodesh is a holier day, and there's a certain infusion of holiness which is greater than the rest of the days of the week. Now, this is like and then Veinbo bit malacha el anashim, right? He adds that Rosh Chodesh, really you could work today. There's no prohibition of working. Just there are certain labors that women don't do, like sewing, for example, and that might only be a custom. And after that, we have rabbinic holidays like Hanukkah and Purim. She'em behem bit malacha. There's no prohibition at all from working. Elahodel b'Hanukkah. Hanukkah, you have the aspect of thanking Hashem. B'simcha gam came b'Purim. You have the aspect of being happy during Purim.
Seems like you have Haidah on Purim also.
What I said? Haidah is going on Purim also? Oh, because it says Gamkein? Gamkein. Right. Right, I think you said. Right. So you have thanks to Hashem and happiness on Purim, where it sounds like you only have Hodah on Hanukkah, which will be a great talk that you can give Purim time, why that applies. Thank you, Shmak. According to the light that was given on those days.
That's backwards, right? Because that's happened afterwards.
What?
That happened rabbinically, right?
Right.
Hanukkah and Purim.
Right.
That's something it's a different level of holiness that sort of because of the events that happened, then holiness came down to the world at that particular time. Hashem ingrained the holidays, right? The holidays that made specific times.
Yes, it sounds like Hashem gave a certain salvation during those times, and we made holidays, and whatever level that is comes back into the world. I'm assuming
why can't it be rabbinic?
No, of course, just a whole different understanding of how it worked. I mean, it wasn't just Hashem decided these days should be holidays. It was that certain events took place, which created a relationship with Hashem, etc., which requires maybe Thanksgiving or whatever. And then through that, you get holiness. Like it's happened in a different way.
Right. He's going to talk about now how even the Torah holidays commemorate certain events, but it's hard because you have the aspects of the holidays even without the events, like Avram Avinu ate matzah on Pesach type of thing, and they didn't leave Egypt yet. So, that you just see by matzah.
Rosh Chodesh is more holy than Hanukkah and Purim. I don't know. I think our general feeling we probably feel the other way around, but it sounds like he's saying it. Rosh Chodesh is Torah, and therefore it's higher.
What about the minhag not to? People don't do the ladies not do malacha when they light the candles. Hanukkah.
It's only during Neiros.
Right. Saying Rosh Chodesh is the whole day. They have a minhag not to do. Okay. Fine, but it sounds like they're. But what?
There's no work restrictions for Rosh Chodesh.
Right. No, not for.
How many aliyahs are there on Hanukkah and Purim?
3.
Only 3. And Rosh Chodesh is 4.
You're saying the aliyahs also. You see, or Rabbi Braun is saying that maybe you also see the amount of aliyahs you have in the Torah reading could tell you how holy the day is. Shabbos you have 7. But Yom Kippur you have 6, and Yom Tov you have 5, and Rosh Chodesh 4. It's interesting, right? Right. Okay. 3.
Okay.
It's interesting. Very good, Reverend. You have to add that into the Braun edition of Derech Hashem. Okay, let's conclude this section. Besides the sanctification, the holiness that's infused in these days, you have different aspects that are tied to each holiday. It's all according to how Hashem wanted it to be. Any rectification that was done during those times returns during the time we celebrate the holiday. So he's going to say that during each holiday, in addition to the sanctification, the holiness that happens on that holiday, there are also certain events that happen and certain aspects that were rectified during the holidays. And that aspect of rectification comes in to the world every time during the year. Right, holidays in Judaism aren't just a commemoration of events that happen. Right, you have July 4th, that's commemorating American independence, but there's no spiritual reality that comes into the world every July 4th. Rather, but when Rosh Hashanah is coming, whatever was rectified during that time, or Pesach, whatever happened, there's an aspect of that comes into the holiday that you can tap into when you're celebrating that holiday. And he's going to actually explain that now. V'hinei al pizen nitztavinu b'chag Pesach. And therefore, because of the aspects that happened on Passover, on Pesach, we are commanded in certain mitzvahs. L'zecher Yetzias Mitzrayim, to remember the leaving of Egypt. Ki b'yos hatikun ahu tikun gadol me'od shenitkanu bo. Shenitaknu bo. On that holiday, there was a great rectification that was done, a great tikkun. U'k'moshe zacharna l'mala. Hukva shebeshuv tkufas azmanahu ye'er aleinu or me'ein ha'or she'er az. Whatever spiritual light happened during the first Passover, that spiritual light comes in to the year every 15th of Nisan every year, and therefore we were commanded on certain commandments like eating matzah and telling the story of the Haggadah, and we re-tap into that spiritual light. Uschudesh banu toledos also atikun, and it renews that rectification. And therefore we have to do those things again. And the same thing, we have the holiday of Shavuos to commemorate the giving of the Torah. Whatever spiritual light that came in during that time comes in again every year on Shavuos. And we have Sukkot, which is fast approaching. And we commemorate the clouds of glory which surrounded the Jewish people in the desert. Even though it didn't actually happen on the 15th of Tishrei, right? Now there's a whole discussion why Sukkot is on the 15th of Tishrei, because the clouds of glory just surrounded the Jewish people the entire time, pretty much during in the desert. So why do we celebrate it during the 15th of Tishrei, which is a discussion for Sukkot time, another time. We can talk after class. It says that I had you dwell in Sukkot. Also Chanukah and Purim. So from here it sounds like Chanukah and Purim are really the same aspect, that you have that whatever spiritual light happened during those times come in, as just Rabbi Jacobi pointed out. Those are really rabbinic, and every other holiday that was mentioned is a Torah level commandment. We also have the days of Megillas Tainus. Right, the Gemara in Tainus talks about certain joyous days that the Jewish people celebrated that we really don't celebrate anymore, because it just became too burdensome to have all these holidays, and we wouldn't be able to do it anymore properly. Now I'm going to explain the mitzvahs that happen on each holiday, and that will be the next section, God willing, next week. So now that he just gave us the introduction to what the holidays are in general, and what Shabbos is in general, he's going to go through all the holidays and the various mitzvahs that we have in them, and the meaning and how they rectify those things that were rectified in the holiness which came, and hopefully in a few weeks, God willing, we'll finish and start a new sefer.